Hello there, I'm gonna run through a very quick character build that I've done, which is my bounty hunter. Uh, I designed this character and then the campaign I was playing finished, so I never actually got a chance to use it. So the idea of this is, as I said, it's a bounty hunter and it does a lot of damage on its first round, and the idea is to try and kill a single target, mostly a boss, in its first round of combat. So um, the way I started it off was with a human variant. I gave him +1 to Dex and +1 to Wisdom. The Wisdom will help it a lot later on, and you'll see why. And Dex, well, it's an archer, so and linking in with that, I gave him the sharpshooter feat. And even though it's not important, I gave him deception as his skill. It's more of a role-playing aspect part of it. So the reason I took sharpshooter is because later on when we advance in levels, not so good at first level, but you can take the -5 penalty to attack to gain +10 damage. And it also ignores half and 3/4 cover, and you get the full range of the weapon. So with that, I also took the urban bounty hunter background, which you get connections through the city or wherever you are, which can help you find your target that's required. I then followed up with giving it the skill proficiencies in insight and persuasion. So persuasion's mostly for the role-playing side of things. Maybe get a bit higher amount on the bounty. Another thing that I should point out is this character, I've not equipped it with any magical weapons yet, but we'll have a quick chat about that at the end as well. So we'll go into the classes. So the first level I've taken is Rogue. The reason I've done this is the fact that you get a lot of skills basically. So you get the stealth, I've given perception, sleight of hand, and investigation. All the stuff sort of like a bounty hunter would need. And his expertise is in stealth and perception. So at this first level, okay, it's not particularly good, but even though he doesn't have the proficiency in it, he was equipped with a longbow, which only gives him a +3 to hit, but a 600-foot range, maybe you'd get a surprise as well if you're lucky. But you also get the sneak damage on top of it. So as we go on, second through to fourth level, actually, I should say. So it'll be 3 levels in Ranger, which will give you the proficiency in that longbow. So automatically you end up gaining your proficiency to the attacks. I gave him the skill in survival for that. Obviously this one's very generic to your campaign, but I gave him favoured enemies as humanoids, and I chose humans and goblinoids with the language of goblin. My idea behind that is most people he would do bounties for would be against maybe other humans, and the goblin part of it was also part of this character's backstory and to do with the campaign that we were playing at the time. the second level of Ranger, he took the archery fighting style. So +2 to hit. And I think people can see where this is going there, where it's going now, which is at third level, he took a level of Gloomstalker, which gave him the Dread Ambusher ability, which I think is absolutely brilliant. And when you mix it with a rogue, it makes it even better. So he, for taking this third level of Ranger, he gets the bonus to initiative equal to the wisdom modifier. So that's now put his initiative up to +5. I didn't read the stats out, did I? I just realised. So the stats I gave him were strength 8, a dexterity of 15. This is on the point by system. But he gets a +1 racial to give him a 16. A constitution of 12, an intelligence of 10, a wisdom of 15, which goes up to 16 because of the racial, and a 11 in charisma. So he's managed to get +5 to his initiative now. But his abilities that I like, he's a human, so he doesn't have dark vision. But now, taking this level, he gains a 60-foot dark vision. He also, while he's in darkness, he is invisible to any creature that relies on dark vision to see you in the darkness. Okay, that can be quite scary in a dungeon with the whole party's got dark vision. Alright, it could work against you and for you because you're basically invisible to everyone. But here's the ability that I really like, which is at the start of your first turn in each combat, your walking speed increases by 10 feet, which lasts until the end of that turn. If you take the attack action on that turn, you can make one additional weapon attack as part of that action. If that attack hits, the target takes an extra 1d8 damage of the weapon's type. So in doing that, you get +5 to your initiative. On your first turn, you get 10 foot plus 10 foot to your movement, so 40 foot. You've got a longbow, which you're now proficient with, which has a 600 foot range. Your first attack would be with +7 to hit, and you do 2d8 +3 damage plus 1d6 sneak attack damage. Then you'd get, and that was sort of your bonus attack. Your second attack, which would be your normal one, would do 600 foot range again, +7 to hit, plus 1d8 +3 damage. So in that first round, assuming they hit on +7, that's 3d8 +6 plus a d6. So it's starting to build up quite quickly. However, I've realised that on a bonus action on that turn, if you cast Zemphier Strike, and the description of that is, you move like the wind. Until the spell ends, your movement doesn't provoke attack of opportunities. This is a first level spell as a bonus action. Once before the spell ends, you can give yourself advantage on one weapon attack roll on that turn. The attack deals an extra 1d8 force damage on a hit, and whether you hit or miss, your walking speed increases by 30 foot until the end of that turn. So, mixing them together, if you cast that, you've got your first turn, you've got plus 40 foot movement. The longbow has 600-foot range. You've got +7 to hit with advantage, which would then become 3d8 +3 +1d6 damage. And then you would have a normal longbow attack at 1d8 +3. So you see it's starting to build up. So the next 2 levels, I then took another 2 levels of rogue to round that up to level 6. And surprise, surprise, I went with assassin. The DM agreed that it fit my character description. So it gives you advantage on attack rolls against any creature that hasn't taken the turn in combat yet. So, okay, that's every attack you do now has advantage, assuming you're going first. But this is where it comes into its own. Any hit you score against a creature that is surprised is classed as a critical hit. We do critical hits where you roll double the amount of dice. We have played it in the past where you roll the normal dice and you just double the damage, but we found it was a lot fairer to do it double the amount of dice. So assuming you get the surprise, you've got +5 to your initiative. You would then, as a bonus action, you still get your bonus action. If you cast Zemphyr's Strike, you get your 40 foot of movement. You then get, on your first attack, which is your bonus one, you would get +7 to hit at 68 +6 damage. Plus you get 4d6 sneak attack. And that's all with advantage hitting. Your normal attack, 600 foot range again, +7 damage, 2d8 +6 with advantage. So that is 8d8 +12 +4d6 damage, assuming all of them hit. Okay, so as we then progress through the levels, alright, I was debating maybe taking more levels of rogue, maybe more ranger, and then having looked through the books, why not fighter? Just add a bit more insult to injury. So with fighter, I gave him a defensive fighting style. I forgot to say, I don't remember if I said, but I gave my ranger the archery fighting style. You can't take it twice, sadly. Otherwise that would be manic. But at second level, you get action surge, which gives you an additional action. So with that, you can obviously take the attack action, and you can do this. You can do an extra attack. So I just lost where I was on the page. And it's yeah, I've just realised I actually done some maths earlier wrong when I was working this out. And this would actually be at your DM's discretion, but I'll go into that in a sec. So at 3rd level fighter, I took Arcane Archer. So I took the Bursting Arrow, and I also took the Entangling Arrow. For some reason, it's deleted the name of it. And so the idea behind that is that when you shoot, you can give magic to one of these arrows, causing extra damage. It was Grasping Arrow. Was the other one that I took. So the idea of this is with Bursting Arrow, after the arrow hits a creature, the target and all other creatures within will take 2d6 force damage each as well. With the Grasping Arrow, when the arrow strikes a target, the creature hit by the arrow takes an extra 2d6 poison damage. Its speed is reduced by 10 foot, and it takes 2d6 slashing damage the first time on each turn it moves 1 foot or more without teleporting. The target or any creature that can reach it can use its action to remove the brambles with a successful strength. So, alright, the DC is not going to be very high on this, but if you cast Zenthier Strike as a bonus action, they are surprised. You can also use the Sharpshooter ability, which we've not included in any of this math so far. And you can do an action surge as well, which is what I've realised I've done slightly wrong with my maths. So the damage is actually more than I've worked it out as. But so with the Arcane Archer, you get the 40-foot movement. So this is everything together at 9th level. You'd get a longbow attack at plus. Sorry, I'm just moving. So, yeah, you would gain so it's only +4 to hit, but you're shooting with advantage. So, okay, I'm an Ars, but we'll talk about magic items in a minute to increase this. So for your first attack, you can do 68 plus 16 damage, plus 4d8 sneak attack, and 4d6 sneak attack, and 4d6 magic arrow damage as well. And as I say, that's all with advantage. Plus, you would then follow up with an extra 2d8 plus 16 damage with that damage. This is assuming you hit, as you're with advantage, it's only +4. So, against like mages and things like this will hurt. And so that in itself is 8d8 plus 32 plus 8d6 damage. You then get action surge, This is where I misread the rules on it, because of the fact that with I've lost where I was. So you would still get your you'd basically get to repeat that. You wouldn't get the damage from the sneak attack, and you wouldn't get the damage from the magic arrows on that second one, but you would still get you'd still get the extra Gloomstalker hit, because it does actually say if you take the attack action on that turn, you can make one additional weapon attack as part of that action. You've taken the attack action twice, so you do actually gain that extra attack. So with that in mind, the second one would be doing sort of the same amount of damage as well. So I've missed that off slightly. I forgot the extra attack, which would be doing the extra damage, but based on 2 normal attacks and the first attack on the round with the sneak and the magic arrows, I added up based on the rules of average, which is normally half the dice rolled plus 1, works out as 136 damage with them all hitting, and that's a 9th level character. Obviously that only happens like once in a combat. You can't do the full amount, but let's say the awkward thing is that it's only plus 4 to hit, so you can increase that with braces of archery and other magic items that give any pluses to hit. They're nearly all there's nearly the only way of doing it though is braces of archery. You can give yourself plus bows, so plus 3 bow will make that a plus 7 to hit, plus you then get an extra 14 damage. On top of that, what you've got to bear in mind as well is the fact that a plus 3 bow will stack with plus 3 arrows, so you can increase it even more. However, it's a bounty hunter, and say your DM's very lenient and will help you make the best character possible and not worry too much about the cost value of it, which one of my DMs has done, and he realized that he caused a lot of trouble for himself doing it. So with that, a bounty hunter normally hunts maybe one person, maybe one bad guy. So why not take an oath bow? You can only use it once a day. The ability doesn't give you the pluses. Doesn't give you the plus to hit, but they get no benefit from cover other than total cover. But sharpshooter got rid of that anyway. And they take an extra 3d6 piercing damage from it. Well, if you that first round, and you can get a surprise on them, which I'd assume a bounty hunter would try for. That's an extra 66. So, okay, it's adding up even more. Then we've talked about +3 arrows, but they're very expensive for what they are. If you're going for a single target, say you've been hired to kill some lord or some necromancer or whatever it is, whoever you've been hired to put the bounty on, in a sense, or whoever's got the bounty on them, I should say. Well, maybe you could include it in your cost, as it is quite an expensive item, but you should only need one, which would be an arrow of slaying. If you have the arrow of slaying, that is alright. DC 17 con saving throw, so maybe not full damage. However, if you get a sneak on that, and that if you get a sneak on it and they pass, that's 60-10 damage. If you get a sneak on it and you fail, that's 12d10 extra piercing damage. So arrow slaying, 12d10. An oath bow at 66. On top of a 6, on top of 6d8, on top of a 16 plus 8d6. That's a lot. I haven't even done the maths for that one, but you see what I mean. Obviously, I know someone who's playing a character a bit like this, and the DM basically told him just to tear his character up because he wouldn't let him play it. So talk to your DM first. I hope that helps. Anyone have any other suggestions or anything like that, let me know. And I'm hoping to actually play this one as not necessarily a backup character, but we've got a few ways of bringing this character in, possibly as an NPC, just to keep some of the other players on their toes, because some of them seem to think some of them are a bit too big for their boots, let's just say. But anyway, talk to you soon. Hello, I'm back again. I just realised, I think I said that the braces of archery increases your to hit rolls. I'm wrong there. It purely increases damage. So I'm sorry if I did say that wrong. I've just been sitting here doing some maths as well, based on everything all together. So let's say your DM's been very generous, you've had a lot of gold, you've managed to get the magic items you want. So this is assuming everything goes to plan. Obviously, if you had a lot more money on this, you could actually do a lot more damage, but we'll leave it as this for the moment. And you'll see why in a second. So this is a 9th level character, so it's 3 rogue, as in rogue assassin, 3 levels of gloomstalker ranger, and 3 levels of arcane archer. So only level 9, and this is assuming you get surprise, and it's based on someone you've been aiming to get so your bounty basically. So this person has the magic items that we want. So it's got oath bow, braces of archery, it's got a single arrow of slaying, and the rest of the arrows are +3 arrows. And I've been working the maths out on that. So if you cast Envious Strike as a bonus action, and they are surprised, yeah, so if they are surprised, use the sharpshooter feat, and you use action surge in this as well. So you get plus 40 foot to your movement, so 70 foot movement for a human with 60 foot dark vision as well. Not too bad, but that's not what this is about. This is about damage, this one. So he has a 600 foot range, and he would have +4 to hit, but that is with advantage against his chosen enemy. Well, as long as they've not taken their turn. If it's a surprise round, they wouldn't have taken their turn anyway. So the idea is this one has the arrow of slaying on it, so it's +4 to hit. It's 68 plus 18 plus 12d10 damage plus 15d6. Yeah, your DM's going to start crying. Then you point out the fact that that's your first arrow. So second arrow, just a +3 arrow. That in itself, this is obviously still using the oath against a single target, which would be 2d8 plus 24 plus 66, because you're still getting that bonuses from the oath. So, okay, that's a lot. Your DM's getting quite upset now and starting to regret doing this. So you action surge, which will give another 68 plus 24 plus another 66 as well. And then, because you get the bonus attack from Gloomstalker, you then get another 2d8 plus 24 plus 66. Yeah, that adds up to 16d8. This is assuming everything hits. Plus 90, plus 12d10, plus 27d6. Assuming my maths is wrong. Assuming my maths is right and I've not got anything wrong here. Based on the rules of average, like I done earlier, that's 350 damage for a 9th level character. Yeah, I don't suggest playing it to this extent in your campaign. You will upset your DM. And as funny as it may be to watch a grown man cry and throw temper tantrums, I don't recommend it. It could cause too many problems. But anyway, there you go. Talk to you soon. And as a final note as well, sorry about this, but I'm aiming on putting the D&D Beyond character sheet and a build guide in the description below. So if you want to check it out, you can. Bye.